Welcome to the Virtual Manager podcast. My name's Anna Russell. I'm an artist manager and founder of The Virtual Manager. Throughout my career, I've developed and managed several music artists from new unsigned acts right through to globally successful ones. This podcast is for all unmanaged or independent music artists who want to start, build, or grow a successful, sustainable music career. I'm so pleased to say that the Virtual Manager podcast is back. Due to not being able to record during lockdown, I had initially planned to take a break for just a few weeks whilst I found a solution. That few weeks turned into a few months, and it's only now that lockdown is easing here in the UK that I'm finally able to get back to weekly recordings. So welcome back. The world, and of course the music industry, is currently looking quite different than when I last spoke with you. As a result, I believe that music artists, especially those that are independent, need more access to information, education, and support than ever before. And this last few months, as I've watched the live music industry come to a halt and the industry once again prepare to shapeshift, has only strengthened my resolve to ensure that AR Artist Management and this podcast are best placed to provide that to you. It's for that reason that I'm so pleased to let you know that the Virtual Manager membership is finally now open. That's one thing that I'm really pleased to say did happen in lockdown. So what is the Virtual Manager and how can it help you? In short, the Virtual Manager is an online resource for independent artists who want to start, build, or grow a successful, sustainable career. Members have 24/7 online access to a full library of trainings, workshops, case studies, and tools to help them. This includes interviews with established artists and workshops from individuals currently working within the music industry, as well as up-to-date music industry news. Most importantly, you become part of our online network of like-minded artists from around the world, being able to meet, collaborate, and share ideas with one another. There are fortnightly live Q&As with myself, so you always have access to artist management guidance, and you can also get A&R feedback on your music anytime you need it. Just some of the things you can expect to gain by being a member include strong foundations to build your music career on, a focused path towards growing your career, a keen understanding of the music industry and how it works, very important, a fan base building plan which targets your ideal fans, knowing how to turn listeners and followers into loyal or paying fans and customers, increased discovery of your music and a raised profile as an artist, comprehensive marketing plans and music release strategies, how to find the right people to work with and build your team, and essentially how to be more effective with the time that you have to invest. Whatever your aspirations as a music artist are, the Virtual Manager is there to work towards those in a strategic, focused, and informed way. So that's what the Virtual Manager is, but I want to talk a little bit about why I created it. I started out probably not dissimilarly to you in that I studied popular music at university. And whilst that experience was a positive one for me in lots of ways, one of my frustrations with it was that we'd have people who worked within different areas of the music industry come in to speak to us and often tell us nothing. There seemed to be so much mystery about what they actually did, how the industry worked, and the steps you could actually take to move forward in your own career. Then when I left university and became an artist manager, I'd attend music conferences and sometimes have a similar experience with speakers at those. People seem to want to keep their cards very close to their chest, and I've never really understood why. It doesn't benefit anyone, and especially not the next generation of music artists coming up, who we really need. I promised myself very early on that as soon as I became experienced enough to do so, I'd happily give out as much of the knowledge and information I'd gathered throughout my career as possible. The Virtual Manager originally started way back in 2016, only it wasn't yet called that or curated so comprehensively. It actually happened in a very organic way where I would simply get on social media and give impromptu seminars to be viewed and shared freely amongst those that needed it most, namely unmanaged and independent artists. This grew and crystallized to become what is now this podcast, the artist management services I offer, and the Virtual Manager membership. The latter of these I'm particularly proud of, as it pulls everything you need as a music artist together in one place. The Virtual Manager really has been designed to be a one-stop shop for music artists, and that's why I'm telling you about it now in this episode. Since I first resolved to share my knowledge as an artist manager as far and wide as possible, of course, things have changed a little in the industry. We now live in the information age, and that includes more music industry information than before. So why should you join the Virtual Manager rather than another service, or for that matter, simply Google what you want to know? Here's just a few reasons why. So number one, the Virtual Manager is the only service of its kind by a practicing artist manager within an artist management company who has consistently worked as an artist manager over the last 15 years and, more importantly, still manages a roster of artists today. Artist managers are the people in the industry best placed to guide and advise artists because it's one of the few roles within the industry that requires a working knowledge of all aspects of an artist's career and the music industry itself, including the creative, the commercial, and artist well-being. This also means that the information you're being given in the Virtual Manager is relevant to today's industry and completely up to date at all times. That's something I work really hard at. Second, my approach is entirely holistic. The Virtual Manager takes into consideration the full picture of your journey and career as a music artist, what you need to have in place to develop at every stage of your career, and the wider industry that you're a part of. That means it covers your music and your well-being as much as it covers building your fan base and monetizing your music. Now, there are a few services out there who are firmly focused primarily on digital marketing, where they'll prioritize how to successfully run social media adverts and show you all of that. And I don't doubt the validity of those promises or the value of those services. But becoming a marketing master is no use to you if the foundations of who you are as an artist and your product, i.e. the music, aren't solid. Marketing alone also doesn't equip you to create success, much less longevity as a music artist. And that's my ultimate goal for you, being able to make a full-time living from your music as the business that is you until the end of your days. As a result, you'll see there's a large focus on how to grow your career organically, step by step, meaning the strategies contained in the Virtual Manager are particularly accessible for music artists who are early stages and independent, where you're likely to be working with very little budget and no team, and also often with limited time because you're working around a full-time job or studies. Though if it's Facebook ads and digital marketing you want to learn about, you'll also find plenty of this in the Virtual Manager. 3, my style as an artist manager is very hands-on, and I try to bring as much of that as possible to the Virtual Manager. So even though it's an online membership, as soon as you join, I personally look at your current artist goals and give you a plan to get started with. You can get A&R feedback on your music privately from me anytime you need. I hold live Q&As every fortnight, and I'm present in the community every single day, answering your questions and posting important music industry news and tips. Finally, I would say that you don't know what you don't know. And as the existing members of the Virtual Manager have already discovered, there's a lot more to starting, building, and growing a career as a music artist than most realize. However, I've ensured that these are broken down into small, manageable steps for our members, and they're listed out in a logical order so that you can implement them into your day-to-day as an artist. So who is the Virtual Manager for? The answer is any artist that wants to learn how to run efficiently as the business that is you within the wider music industry ecosystem, with the support of an artist manager and a community of like-minded artists. The Virtual Manager was created for all types of music artists, including musicians, singer-songwriters, bands, DJ producers, songwriters, and recording artists. You may be an aspiring artist just starting out in your career, or a more established artist who would like to build on and scale up their success. However, you have to be willing to do the work it takes to build a music career. This takes time and effort to create and manage. So if you're an artist who believes or hopes that someone else should do it all for you, I'm afraid the Virtual Manager may not be for you. If any of this resonates with you and your goals as a music artist, I invite you to check out the Virtual Manager now at thevirtualmanager.co.uk. It has been my pleasure to serve our existing members in there over these last few weeks, and I'd be delighted if you joined us there too. In the meantime, I'll be back next week with another episode of the Virtual Manager podcast, which is an extract of an interview from within the Virtual Manager that I recently did with 18-year-old Joshua Grant, an independent artist who recently topped the official charts in his home country of Scotland with no label, no PR, no social media advertising, and no budget. See, we're all about the organic, achievable strategies that you can use to build your career in the Virtual Manager. Join me back here for that. And as usual, the Virtual Manager will be returning every single Tuesday, so look out for a new episode then. Take care. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Virtual Manager podcast. If you found it useful, I invite you to check out the Virtual Manager membership site, an essential resource for independent artists who want to start, build, or grow a successful, sustainable music career. Everything you hear about on this podcast, we show you how to do in there. With monthly music industry training, a library of tools and resources for you to use, A&R feedback on your music, access to live Q&As with me, plus an active, supportive community of like-minded artists, the Virtual Manager is the perfect place to be for any unmanaged or independent music artist. Check it out now at thevirtualmanager.co.uk. Finally, please take a minute to review and subscribe to this podcast. It helps more independent music artists to find us.